Alrighty. Welcome everyone. We will get started with the webinar very shortly. Hey, Taha.
Hey, Stefano, how are we doing?
Good yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad.
Perfect. Welcome, Shobi.
Yes, Stefano. Hello, Taha. How are you?
Good, good.
Alrighty, welcome everyone. We'll give it a few more minutes before we get started. I see people are still trickling in here. And we can get started. Merrily, I see your hand is up.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure you have your chat disabled. Are we going to have post questions there
Yeah,
or
we will activate that very shortly as well. Give me a second. Shobi, can you double check that for me? Shobi's just going to get on that and we will let you know once
okay.
that is open.
Okay, no, that's great. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Jose.
Hi, I'm not sure I'm in the right meeting. Is this the Royal Coast meeting?
This is for the guest pass management for condo control, our newest feature for digital solutions.
I guess maybe I'm in the wrong meeting.
Could possibly
Okay.
be, yes.
Okay, all right.
Alrighty. Shobi is, looks like the chat is enabled. If anyone has any issues or questions, please feel free to raise your hand. We'll give it another minute and then we can get started here.
Sorry, the chat is not enabled yet.
It's not enabled yet? Okay.
No.
Give me a
Let's.
second, Merrily. Let me figure this out for a second. Sorry
Okay,
about
sorry, no, no need
No,
to
that. No
no,
worries.
we
rush.
appreciate it. People are
Yeah, we
still
do.
trickling in, so
Yeah.
we got some time here. Got a couple of minutes to get it going.
Okay, sorry.
No, it's thank you. All right, here we go. Welcome everyone to the Condo Controls Guest Pass Management digital solution for a better experience presentation, our newest feature, Guest Passes. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Stefano. I am the Senior Marketing Coordinator here at Condo Control. I'm accompanied by my colleague Shobi, who's a Lifecycle Marketing Specialist, and our presenter and speaker today, Mr. Taha Jamal, our newest Sales Engineer. So welcome everyone and thank you. Before we get started, just a couple housekeeping items. The webinar is being recorded and a follow-up email will be sent to all the registrants and those of you on the call here with the recording link once it becomes available. As I alluded to prior, please use the Q&A functionality at the bottom of your screen to ask any of the questions that you may have, and we will address them midway through the presentation and at the end of the presentation. All attendees are muted. near the end of the presentation where there's a Q&A section. Please feel free to raise your hand if you wish to ask a question verbally. And then after the webinar, there will be a Zoom survey that will populate and open in your browser to gather any feedback. So thank you, everyone. And Taha, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Stefano, and good morning, everybody, or good afternoon, depending upon where you are. First of all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your days to join us as we talk about this exciting new feature that we have actually launched as of today. So if you do find this interesting, you can always reach out to your customer success manager or our support team to see how you can have this built out for your community going forward. But it's a pretty straightforward conversation we're going to have today. On the agenda, we're firstly going to talk about the top reasons why communities dislike the current guest passes processes they may have, whether it's manual or how like partially manual. Secondly, we'll talk about, we'll give you an introduction to our digital guest passes process. We'll do a live demo of how the system works and how your residents can book a pass and how you can validate it. And then finally, we'll be talking about the benefits of using a digital pass system. And then at the end, if there are any questions, we can have that time there for you to ask and we can answer. All right, so let's get started. So like I said, we're going to talk about the top reasons why communities may dislike guest passes.
Sorry to cut you off. Can you open the screen as a presentation? Is that possible? Just for everyone to
course.
see? Yeah, just so it's just easier for everyone to view. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, sounds good. All right, so the top reasons why communities dislike guest passes. Now, depending upon what your role is in the community, whether you're an admin person, or you're security, or you're actually a resident who needs to use it, there are different reasons why it may be disliked. For example, from an admin or a property manager's perspective, you may have to go through a lot of manual processes, such as keeping a track of guest passes that have been logged either manually or through spreadsheets. You may also need to do a lot of paperwork or collect payments manually, collecting checks and payments through cash and so on. And then finally, it may be a little bit of a challenge to track passes that have been issued versus those that have been redeemed or those that are expired. It's a lot of manual work that would go into that, right? The second group of people who are your security and the staff who actually do the validation part, right? So a key portion of their day-to-day would be obviously to keep people safe. And then while they're doing that, if they are collecting or validating, verifying passes as well, that may be a little bit too much work. They may also be required to obtain consents or waivers from your users or guests that are coming in. And then finally, if an incident occurs, it's kind of difficult to identify the guests involved, who they may be, how they got into the amenity or the location, and so on. And then finally, from your resident's perspective, it's a little inconvenient if you have to get physical passes every time, right? So coming down to the management office or giving a call or sending out an email saying, hey, I need to have guest passes for my guests coming in, the number of passes and so on. In some cases, it may also be a little bit of a tricky situation to get information about how much a pass would be, how much would I need to pay, how do I pay, and so on. It also takes some time for guests to be signed in. So if let's say you currently have a manual process where the security person needs to validate against a sheet or a list that, hey, this resident booked XYZ number of passes. These are the pass numbers, 001, 002, and so on, and then validating whether those are the correct passes. Again, that's a very tedious process. And then residents must pay via cash or checks. Again, it takes a little bit of time not only to collect that, but also on the management side. On the management side, it takes a lot of time to reconcile as well, right? So again, very tedious, not something that is super streamlined and not a great experience from the management perspective or the residents. Now, what is the solution? to this problem, right? How do we fix the current process of manual guest passes? That would be to introduce something that's more digital, more mobile, and it's a better experience overall for the entire community. So the first thing is you would get rid of any paper processes. So creating guest passes manually, collecting checks, collecting cash, and so on and so forth. Once you get rid of that, I believe half of the work is already out the window, right? You then also streamline processes for staff by adopting an online system for not only administering passes, but also to track them, to keep reports on, and so on. You also allow your owners to be able to go ahead and book guest passes digitally as well. So whether you're on the go or you're in the comfort of your home, if you all of a sudden remember, hey, I didn't get the guest passes for my friends created for the event at the community, you can literally go online and then book the guest passes there, complete the whole process online. And then finally, and this is for now from a community perspective, when you digitize any sort of process, then the likelihood of that being adopted more or being used more becomes exponentially higher. So that will in turn mean that there is an increase in revenue that is generated by management. Okay, so this is the solution for the current problem that we're facing, and we'll next talk about how Conjure Control will address that with the guest passes function. Now, before we go into the solution, we're going to have a quick poll here. What is your current experience with managing guests and community amenities?
So I'll launch the poll for everyone. Please take your time and answer the question accordingly.
I believe there are a few different options to choose from, so choose
Yep.
whatever feels
Is applicable
right for
to
you. I believe we have 1 or 2 minutes to respond. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
we're coming up on the minute mark, so thank you everyone for getting your responses in. We'll give it about 10 seconds as the last few trickle through here. All righty. Perfect. Thank you very much. So it looks like a majority of you do have current process in place, but a lot of you believe there is room for improvement. Taha will continue to expand on how the digital guest passes can help assist with that. Oh, Taha, your audio is not working there.
Can everybody hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
All right, sorry about that. Okay, so now we're going to go into how our digital guest passes process will work using the mobile app. So first things first, the Conjure Control digital pass function is built into the mobile experience. So it's a safe and secure end-to-end solution for not only condominiums, but also HOA communities to adopt to digitize the process, right? Guest access is effectively managed via mobile. So what that means is whether you're a resident who's, again, sitting in the comfort of your home, you just open up the mobile app and you can put the request in there, or whether you're a security person or admin person or property management that needs to validate the pass, that can all be done through the mobile app as well. You can customize passes for general access to gated communities and even have different types set up for different items. So let's say, as an example, you allow for guest passes to be issued out for your community pool on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis so that you can have different pricing for those passes that can easily be set up on the admin web app. And then residents can send QR codes to their guests. So this is the best part. As soon as you book the guest pass, the resident will receive a confirmation and they have the ability to share it online, either through email or WhatsApp or message, whatever their preferred mode of communication is. Now, how is this better than what most communities are doing right now? Firstly, it gives the resident a convenient way to not only request guest passes, but it also gives them the ability to pay electronically as well, either via credit cards or through ACH by linking their bank account to the mobile app. It also reduces a lot of manual work for management by removing any sort of paperwork. So no more printed guest passes, no more manual checklist and so on. It's all done digitally. And the best part is it has a reporting component built into it so that you no longer need to keep a track of, oh, how many guest passes did we sell this month versus last month? Passes can be shared externally, like we mentioned, and then QR codes and barcodes, which are the industry standard for any communications like these, make it easier for your staff to validate guest passes as well. Scannable passes allow for faster access to amenities. So once we go through the demo, you'll see how quickly I can go through pass after pass after pass, and the system will let me know whether it's valid, expired, invalid, and so on. Improved accountability with automated logged guest entries. So on the web app, you will have a report that will give you not only when a pass was scanned, but also who it was scanned by and what location. So if you have multiple locations of entries, you can set those all up, and accordingly, the system will keep a track of that. And then finally, online integrated payments, and then the financial records will also be sent back to your accounting system. So once we start building on this, most accounting softwares that are integrated with Condo Control we'll be able to push the entry to those accounting softwares. I believe as of right now, it is currently VMS. All right, so live demo of Condo Control. We're just going to quickly drop out of this, and we're going to go into this view right here. Now on the left here, you have the resident view of Condo Control for My Training Workspace. And then on the right-hand side here, you have the management view of Condo Control. It's a little bit different because of access levels. But from a resident's perspective, all they need to do is click on the three bars on the top left. They'll see guest passes here. And then here, they can click on Create Guest Pass. As soon as they do that, it will give them a drop-down menu to select which guest pass type they would like to go for. So like I mentioned, if you have different tiers of guest passes for a amenity, you can have those set up, and these are pretty easy to set up. So if I want to, as a resident, just have a daily pass, that can be done, and it's, let's say, $10. A weekly pass would be $50, and so on and so forth. So you can obviously customize those prices as well. Similarly, management can also set up how many passes can be asked for in a transaction, up to 10. So if, let's say, a resident, you want to give your residents the ability to book the rec center day pass for up to 10 people, they will be able to do that. So let's say they can either click here and then type in the number, or they can use the minus and plus signs here to update. And as you can see here, the app automatically updates the pricing here as well. Once we hit continue, the resident will be asked to select their payment method. Okay. Let's try this one more time. Let's go to monthly here. We'll say 2 passes, go continue. Okay. See if we can have this done here. Oh, perfect. So there you go. So on the left-hand side here, on the left-hand side, a resident can put in their credit card information or their bank account transfer details. as you can see here. So they can use a checking or savings or business account. And if they have a save payment method, it will give them the option to select that and proceed forward. Now, with that being said, the system will also show them the total amount that they will be paying, not only the quantity, but also any service fees and any transaction fees that are applied on top of the transaction fee. These are charged by the payment processor, which is currently Zego, and in the future, you will also have Stripe as well. The resident clicks on pay, the transaction completes, and it will automatically then give them the QR codes, as you can see here. Each pass will have a reference number, and then they can click on share, and it will allow them to share using any methods. So if, let's say, they have email, they'll be able to send it through email, WhatsApp, messages, and so on and so forth. Now let's go back here for a sec. Okay. Now, on the management side, let's go back here and log in. All your management needs to do is basically, and this is on my live phone. So all we need to do is click on the 3 bars on the top left, go into the unit file, and there will be this barcode scanner at the bottom right here. When we click on it, it will open up the mobile app. That was too quick. It will open up the mobile camera on your phone, as you can see here, and then I can go ahead and scan any of the QR codes, and it will let us know if the barcode has been properly scanned or not. Now, what happens if you try to rescan a barcode or QR code that was already scanned? In this case, the system will let your security know that the guest pass has already been scanned and not to let that person in, just in case. All right. Any question? I believe you have a couple of questions.
Yes, Taha. So we do have a few questions within the Q&A here. We can address them accordingly. So, okay. So Lori has asked, we want access control to all residents and guests. Is this something that's going to be available in the future?
So access today's module is on the guest passes.
The guest passes, right?
Yeah, access control is a different topic.
Mm-hmm.
But we can definitely have a discussion about that. At the end of the webinar, we will provide you with an email address that you can send your questions to, and then somebody from our team will be able to reach out.
Perfect. Thank you. Mary Lee has a couple of questions here. First question, is this digital solution implemented in both the browser and mobile app with the same functionality?
Good question. Currently, it is only available on the mobile app because we have found that most of our residents typically use the system through the mobile app itself. From the web app, basically, you have the ability to run reports. And this is, again, from the management perspective, right? You have the ability to run reports as well as set up those guest passes online. However, the overall experience of not only purchasing guest passes, but also validating them is on the mobile.
Thank you. Second part to her question is, if she doesn't have any entry costs, can this still be configured without any accounting components to it?
A good question. As of right now, these are paid guest passes, but if, let's say, the need arises, we can also always develop that in the near future. I believe that is something that we have discussed, but as of right now, it's paid guest passes.
Perfect. And then lastly from her, can she customize the hours of access, for instance, from 9 to 5 p.m. for category, all day, nights, or any other category that's required by the community?
Good question. As of right now, it's a pretty open field. So the one thing that is hard-coded is the 90-day validity of a pass. So after 90 days, it automatically expires. But right now, you cannot build in any time components or day versus night as of right now. But if, again, if this is a common request, you may see that feature become available in the future.
Perfect. Ricky, his might be a different feature related, but he's wants to create a visitor parking pass. So do we have the option to record the vehicle's make, model, and license plate number to that as well?
Good question. That we already have that functionality under the security and concierge module, and it's called visitor passes. That's when a residents or security can provide all that information. Yeah.
Perfect. Another question by Marilee. So how is it controlled that the QR code is not distributed to unwanted guests, whether it be screen captures, so on and so forth?
Good question. That's why the ability to share the QR code is with the resident that is actually booking it, right? So you the idea or the concept is that if a resident is paying for it, they can share it with whoever they may want to, right? So like a cousin or a friend or a family members. So the onus is on the owner. And this is one thing we're going to talk about in a couple of slides in the future, like, not the future, like coming up, is that the compliant part of it is a little bit better, mainly because you can now track who actually issued the guest pass or who requested the guest pass. So if there's something untoward that happens on the property or at the amenity, you have a way to trace it back.
Thank you. Next question here from Rosalind. So would this be for short-term guest staying, or is it just for access to facilities such as pools, amenities, etc.?
So the latter. This is mainly for if, let's say, an owner wants to invite their friends or family or short-term renters to be able to use the facilities, and you have a payment structure in place, the resident will be able to request it on their own using the mobile app.
Perfect. From Eduardo here. So in regards to security guards, will they be able to access and scan the QR code with the app to verify any accesses? Yeah.
Absolutely. So we demoed, it is available.
Couple more coming in here. So from Evelyn, will this work for a four-way shared facility? What if the other buildings do not have condo control?
So in this case, if you have shared facilities and you do turn on guest passes, then it would, let's say two of the buildings want to use guest passes, the other two do not. Same concept, the person who needs to scan or the security person who needs to scan the guest pass needs to be in the workspace where they were issued. So I know what the question is regarding shared facilities, and we have a lot of functionality that is shared amongst workplaces. This may not work just like amenities.
Thank you. From Chris, how will this work with vehicles at the facility, knowing that a specific guest vehicle has a pass to be on property?
That's a good question. In this case, again, the onus is on the resident, right? If you have that process where residents can request visitor parking as well, they would just go in and book the guest pass, share it with their guest, and then finally go into the system again and then request visitor parking for security to approve. Currently, those two items are now tied together, but like I mentioned, if there is a need for that feature to be developed, you may see that happen in the future.
Thank you. Couple more here. So from Barry, so this is more appropriate for larger facilities. We book all of our amenities through condo control. The only payment is for the guest suite, which is paid by check or more often using Stripe. The rules require a resident to accompany all guests at all times. There are no guest passes. Parking passes are digital and managed through condo control as well. Thank you. I don't know if it's necessarily a question, but if you can expand maybe, Taha, on the availability of this on smaller facilities as well. I know Barry alluded to larger ones, but I think this is applicable for smaller ones as well, correct?
Yes, absolutely. So if you do have certain facilities that can be made open to the public, let's say you have a private pool that you would like to start using over the weekends for public consumption, and just as an example, right? And you set up a pass, residents can request a pass for their friends and family to join them, and this is just an added source of revenue. Does it fully fulfill every community's need? Maybe not, but you may have certain items that you may want to sell passes for. So as an example, one community that I worked with before, they had this summer or winter fest event that they used to host on their grounds. It was a pretty big property, and they wanted to see if there's a possibility of having that done through the system. And this kind of would work through that, right? For them, where the resident goes in, says, I want 10 passes for Winterfest for my family and friends to join me. They can easily do that, and they'll have access to the community, and you'll be able to, or the community would be able to track who, when, how, and where.
Perfect. A few more and then we can move on here. So if a family of guests comes, do all members of the family, for instance, the mom, dad, and kids, have to receive a barcode for their entry?
Good question. This is again, this comes down to how the community wants to set up their modalities, right? If you only want one QR code per family, then that perfectly works. But then again, how do you define a family? What if they come with 10 different kids, the whole soccer team, the PV League, right? It's up to you. But typically what we see is you would have at least one guest pass per person, maybe not for somebody who's under the age of, let's say, 6 or under 13. Again, it completely comes down to what the community prefers.
And then two more here, so we can move on. So Lori's just asking, what kind of device at the door is there to scan these QR codes? I'm assuming that's based off the community, but yeah, Taha, you can expand on that.
Absolutely. So you don't need any special hardware. Like I mentioned, it can be all be done from the access of your phone. Right now, oh, that disappeared. I have a Samsung phone, but even if you have an iPhone or a front desk phone, whatever that may be, as long as it's able to run the mobile app for condo control, and as long as it has a camera, you can easily use this.
Perfect. And then lastly from Marilee here, how long would the process be if we would like to have the QR for visitors implemented with additional functionality?
All right. So it's not sorry, it wouldn't take a lot. So when you say additional functionality, I'm assuming if you want improvements to be able to see that. So as you are aware, if you're a long-term condo control user, we have a feedback forum where you can post ideas about improvements that you may want to see. If you are already a current client, which I'm assuming you are, Marilee, you would just reach out to your customer success manager and ask them the process on how to activate it for your community to see if there are improvements, how they should meet, sorry, what kind of improvements you would like to see, and then you can put that onto the feedback form.
Perfect. Great. Thank you guys for all your questions. There's still a portion of the presentation left and how revenue can be generated, compliance, and further benefits using the digital guest passes. Taha, we're going to jump on to the next portion here. But first, we have a poll question, and then we can move forward from here.
Absolutely.
So if so implementing, sorry to cut you off. So in terms of the guest passes, what would be the biggest benefit of having a digital guest pass system within your community? Similar to the first poll question, I will launch the second one. And sorry, give me one moment. And we will launch the second portion here. We'll give it a minute. So what do you see as the biggest benefit of having digital guest pass system in your community? There are multiple answers here that you can answer accordingly. Is it improved security and better control over your guest accesses, increased convenience for residents and staff, time savings and reduced manual work, better record keeping and accountability, enhanced resident satisfaction and experience? Multiple answers can be conveyed here. We'd love your feedback on information like this. And we'll give it a minute similar to the last poll question, and we can share the results accordingly. All righty, we'll about 5 more seconds here. I see a couple more trickling in, and thank you everyone for your answers. We can share the results. So it looks like improved security and better control over guest accesses is a huge benefit here, and then increased convenience for residents and staff as well. So thank you for your feedback. Taha.
All right, and that is a great segue into our next slide, which is the benefits of using the digital guest pass system through condo control. Now, a few major benefits are, again, like we talked about, improve compliance. So first things first, it's easier to track capacity and usage by tracking the number of guests. What that means is, again, you can run reports in condo control to see how many guest passes for a specific amenity were sold this month versus last month, or even this quarter versus last quarter. And that way you can do some analytics to see if you need to up your usage or do some capacity planning in the future, just so that you're able to cater more or generate more revenue. You also have a 90-day expiration date, like I mentioned before, built into the system. This way, residents are not able to hoard any passes unnecessarily. And then finally, you also have full reports that can be exported and track purchases and scans and exits. So this is one of the answers that are provided for one of the Q&A questions. You will know exactly when a pass was scanned, who it was scanned by, where it was scanned, and which unit requested the pass, which user requested the pass, so on, so that you know exactly who to track down or who to have a conversation with if something happens on the property while that guest pass is being used. Accountability and transparency reduces misconduct, which kind of connects to my previous point. And then management can also see who scanned the guest passes. So if, let's say, you have 4 or 5 different security personnel that do the tracking, but you will know exactly who is accountable for any sort of situation that happens. And this basically encourages ownership of the process, so that once your security knows, hey, you are being tracked, this would then better your processes internally. Now, it's a better experience for staff and residents. And the funny thing is, those 2 items were the highest voted ones in the last poll there. But a better experience for staff, not only in terms of streamlining the processes, but also you're able to do all of your tracking, all of your management and maintenance digitally. So no more paper required. You have the ability to set up prices and change prices as needed. So if, let's say, you have a certain period during the summers, your pool gets used more versus obviously the winters, and you want to adjust pricing for those seasons, you have the ability to do that. And the mobile app also reflects those changes in real time. So it's not like there'll be a lag where residents will need to look for that information. As soon as you make that change, the next guest pass will be with that new pricing. Resident request guest passes and fill out required information from the mobile app instead of having to complete that process in person at an office. So this saves not only the residents' time, but also management's time as well, where you need to dedicate, oh, here's a form, fill this out, or the resident provides it to them for them to fill out. None of that is required anymore. When a pass is scanned, security can easily tell whether it is valid or not. So like I showed you, as soon as the security person scans the QR code, it will show a green at the top saying it's valid and it has been validated, or it will show red for it's either been used before or it is expired. Again, easy and convenient system. So it's literally a touch point system where the resident goes into guest pass, the mobile app, selects the guest pass they want to book. They can then go ahead and pay for it online and then share it online as well. So the whole process should not take more than 30 seconds to a minute for a resident to complete, as long as they know what they're doing. Less paperwork means reduced workload, which connects again to our first point. Admins have the ability to see the dates and times when passes are scanned. This helps with pass tracking and provides insight into which amenities are used most often. So let's say not only capacity tracking, but also you want to see amenity usages in terms of guest passes. All of that can be done through our reporting module. And then audit trails provide accurate insights and help staff with future planning and policy making. Now, It also helps you generate revenue as well. What we found is whenever you digitize a process in a community, it generally sees an uptick of 10 to 20% in increase in revenue because of accessibility and ease of use, right? So the easier that you make a process, the more probability that it would be picked up or used more by your residents. So again, the more they use it, the more revenue you generate, and so on and so forth. Online guest passes purchases are fast and uncomplicated. Again, 4 steps. Residents are given multiple payment processing options. So right now we have credit cards and ACH payments for your bank account. So residents can easily put multiple items in, and then they can choose. Okay, I've maxed out this credit card this month. I don't want to use that one. I want to use the next one. It will store the information for them as well, as long as they allow the app to do that. And then they just need to select it when making cashing out. And then integrated online payments allow for automatic posting to accounting systems. Like I mentioned, as of right now, VMS is able to take the information from Condo Control and then post it into your ledgers. And then transaction map to specific general ledger accounts for easy export as well into a accounting system. With that being said, we are now at the end of the material that we have prepared for you. I know we did a pseudo Q&A session in the middle there as well, but now is the time. If you have any questions additionally, please let us know and we can get to them. All right.
Sorry, Todd. There's a couple more that came through here in the
Yes.
chat. So how long are the records held for from a reporting standpoint?
So indefinitely, we do not delete any information. You can go back, let's say 3 years down the line, you can just say, I want to see the records from 2 years ago. It's easily available. It's time bound as well. So you can select a time period too. So if you wanted, let's say the 15th of May, 2021 to the 15th of September, 2021, you can easily run that report. Not a problem.
Perfect. And then I think Lori just wants some more clarity on, she doesn't understand fully what the mobile app is being used for at the door when they enter the specific facility or amenity that they're booking. Can you just clarify or expand on the use from a community standpoint? I think she's trying to understand from a community standpoint on how that can be done.
I understood. So let's say you, I'm not too sure if you have a gated community or not, Lori, or if there is a doorman or a security desk at your community. But in those situations, when a resident requests a guest pass through the mobile app, they can share that with, let's say Shobi requested it for Taha, who's his friend. Taha then comes to the property and says, hey, I have a guest pass to enjoy the day at your rec center. Your security, again, you don't need any additional hardware. This is not automated to that point where there is a scanner at the door. They just scan it and they can go in. From someone from your security or front desk or management will open up the mobile app on their end and then scan my QR code. Once they scan it, they will know if the QR code is legit, if it's expired, if it's active, or it's been used up, so that they can then let the person into your facilities.
Let me just see, she's confirming. We have 11 doors.
Understood. Okay. So are all of those doors manned or unmanned? All right, so we'll come back to
Yeah, we'll come back to hers and then we'll jump on to Marilee's question. Marilee's.
Yes, so Marilee.
Exactly. Thank you. Not manned fob access.
Yes, as of right now, this is not, this is supposed to be where you have some check and balance. So somebody at the gate to validate the passes. But again, if let's say this is a larger need, we can take that to our product team to see if that is a direction we want to take.
Exactly. And Claudio just confirmed that if there's no human security or no person on site, the system cannot be used until further development has been implemented from this digital guest pass portion.
Correct. Yes.
Perfect. And then a couple more here from Marilee. We weren't interested in having the QR as access control to our gated community? Any timeline that we can share? I know that was something you already kind of addressed, Taha.
Mhm.
Currently, our development is something that they're looking into in terms of timeline. I don't know if you can expand on this, Taha.
Mhm.
It's
Of
definitely,
course.
yeah.
In terms of so the way that we address new features or improvements is from a community mindset. So let's say merely you have an idea like this one right here. We want to use it as the QR code as access control to our gated community. We would post that idea to the feedback forum. We would wait for a lot of communities to say, hey, we like this idea, like Lori right here, right? And Claudio, they would then vote on that idea. It will go to our development team, and they would then start creating a roadmap for it. Some features can be developed quicker based on how much need there is, and how easy it is to develop. But if it's more complex, where we need to integrate with different access control systems, because not every community will have the same one, right? We need to do a lot of groundwork and research that goes into it before we're able to even put out a viable feature. So those might be a lot longer as compared to easier solutions. Timeline wise, could be 6 months, could be a year and a half, depending upon what the need is, how soon it can be developed, how soon it can be put onto a roadmap, and how much of a need there is.
Perfect. When will the last question I see here, when will the guest pass feature be available for use? If already available, how can I add this feature to my current account?
Thank you, Juan.
Yeah.
So this is already, as of today, available to all of our customers. If you go into setup and look at the left menu, if you don't see guest passes there, you would just need to speak to your customer success manager or speak to our support team to see how you can have that incorporated. It depending upon your package level, they'll let you know how to have that added on. But additionally, if let's say you don't want to reach out to anybody else, you can also send an email out to webinars@condocontrol.com for any additional questions, any pricing questions, and we'll be able to answer those for you.
Perfect. And then I see Marilee has one question with her hand up here. Go ahead, Marilee.
Thank you. Thank you, Stefano. Hi, Taha. Nice to see you again. The question is, as you know, we're on a gated community and we are currently using the visitors module. The visitor modules currently is, and forgive me, it's a little bit chunky. We need to go, our security personnel has to go to the browser to check part of the information, and it has to go to the app to check the second part of the information. So it's not that streamlined. So is there anything that you can see implemented this QR into that already existing system on your visitor control?
That's an interesting question. Do we have anything that is currently available? So are you using any functionality such as barcodes with our software, badges, anything like that, or not?
So we are using all your current system in condo control. You have visitor access. So the resident, the homeowner will register their visitors, license plate, name, blah, 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 time. And but the security personnel has to go to the browser, and they will have to also look in the app just to validate the information, just to even access is a list. It gives you a list. So then they will have to go through hundreds of let's say if somebody was authorized to come in for a week, then that person will go at the bottom of the list. So that's why we were hoping that this QR would allow us just to streamline those visitors that are being authorized already. And instead of using, this form that is on your condo control.
Sounds good. So merely let me take that question back to my product team and see if that is something that we are thinking about right now, and we can get back to you on email. Is that okay?
That's awesome. Thank you.
All right, no problem. And I believe we have one more question.
Sorry, I think Vicky is providing some insight. Many of the participants here need something more like SwiftLane for access to amenities into the community as a face recognition, fobs, HID, etc. We use this in conjunction with Condo Control as an integration. Condo Control tracks STRs while SwiftLane provides actual access to doors and gates. Perfect. Thank you, Vicky, for the suggestion and feedback. All right. Thank you very much, everyone, for your time and participation here. If you have any further questions in regards to the webinar here or anything else regarding Condo Control, whether you're a current user or just someone participant, feel free to email us or contact us directly through the email available on the screen. I really appreciate your time. We all do. Taha, thank you very much for your time in the presentation. And once we get things solidified, we will send out the recording to everyone within the next week or two. Thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day, and till next time. There will be a survey that will populate very shortly following the closure of this webinar, so please answer accordingly upon your availability. Thank you again, and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you very much.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye now.